One of the advantages of Microsoft OneNote is the flexibility of the notebook structure. Let's look at 10 tips to work with Microsoft OneNote more effectively by managing notebook sections. Sections are like dividers in a binder or notebook. And in OneNote, sections are the top level of a notebook. You might create sections by project, topic, class, person, customer, patients, employees. You get the idea. There's so many ways that you can use sections to organize your information. So what are those tips? Number 1, adding a section. There are multiple options to add a section to a OneNote notebook. Here you'll see the sections across the top here horizontally. One option is to click on this plus to create a new section. Or I could right-click in the section area here and pick New Section. And finally, right-click on any existing sections, and here is that option, New Section. I'll create one called Projects. One of the easiest ways to rename, delete, move, or copy and otherwise manage OneNote sections is to right-click on the section tab you want to change. Our next tip then is number 2, renaming a section. It's super easy here. I'll right-click. Here is Rename. And I'll change this to be a little bit more descriptive. And let's call this Microsoft 365 Training. Simply hit Enter, and we're good to go. Number 3, deleting a section. To delete a section that you no longer need, simply right-click on it. Now keep in mind, if it includes content, that is a number of pages, you will also remove that content. In this case, I'll simply delete and confirm that I want to delete this section. Number 4, moving or copying section. The more you work with OneNote, it might become apparent that the content would work better in another notebook. So one of our options is to move a section to another notebook. If I want to perhaps consolidate my meeting details into one specific notebook, I could take this one here, right-click, move or copy, and in this case, I'll move it to my Chocolate Creations notebook. And for this, I'll choose Copy. That ensures that the original will stay in the other notebook, just so that I can confirm that the change was successful. So we'll choose Copy. And now let's just confirm that it's there. Over on the left-hand side here, I'll move to the other notebook. And here is my team meetings. And by the way, to rearrange these sections, I can simply click and drag and move it to another location. A bonus tip is that if you had these two notebooks open in separate windows, you could hold down the Control key and drag the section tab to copy the section to the other notebook. Let's take this one step further. I'd actually like to consolidate what I have here in this section into the other section for meeting notes. That is, combine them so I don't have two separate sections for our organization meeting. So I'll move back to this one and right-click on the page. And for that then here, I will go ahead and move or copy and specify that I actually like to take that page and put it in the meeting notes. In this case, I'll go ahead and move it. And there it is. So now I can delete this other section that I no longer need. Number 5, merge into another section. As we saw, it was pretty straightforward to simply copy that page into the other section. But if you have a lot of pages in one section, that would take up a lot of time to copy each one of those pages individually. So if you have notes in one section that you'd like to combine into another section, you can use the merge option. This, we're going to actually be combining those two sections into one. So let's say I want these certifications to be merged or combined into the section I have for Microsoft 365 Training. I can simply right-click on the certifications, choose Merge into another section, and indicate which one. And notice it doesn't have to be within the same notebook. For this, I'll pick my Microsoft 365 Training and choose Merge. Confirm that the merge process is what you want to go ahead with. That's important. And I'll delete the original section. So now those pages have become part of this other section. Number 6, vertical tabs. I'm working in the OneNote desktop app, which currently supports having horizontal tabs. One of the fairly recent updates to the OneNote desktop app is to add the option to display the sections as vertical tabs. This is an easy change under the View tab, and here is Tabs Layout. Choose Vertical Tabs. This change is designed to more closely match OneNote for the web. Let's look at that. Here is OneNote for the web, where we can see that our sections are shown then vertically, and our pages are as well. Additionally, notice the simplified ribbon that is displayed here. Now we can change this in the browser, and we can also modify this in the desktop app. So this is a bonus tip. Here we have the drop down for ribbon display. So from the browser, I could pick it to the classic ribbon. And here from the desktop app, all we need to do is right click and choose Use Classic Ribbon. And this can be helpful to make it a little bit clearer to us all the options that are available to us here in OneNote. The only trade-off with the vertical tabs is it can get a little cluttered. That is, I can certainly collapse these notebooks to make it a little bit easier, or we can choose once again to go back to View, Tabs Layout, and pick Horizontal Tabs. It's entirely up to you what makes the most sense for you. Number 7, change section color. This is certainly personal preference, but there may be certain branding colors or other options that you want. You won't have a lot of flexibility, but let's look at how we could do this. I'll move to one of these sections, right click, and here is section color, and simply choose from one of the available options. It's that easy. Number 8, section groups. If you accumulate a lot of notebooks with too many sections inside of the notebook, it can get pretty cluttered, and it may be more difficult to navigate or to find the content that you want. So one of the options is to create section groups where you can nest a multi-level hierarchy of sections within one notebook. To create a section group, either right-click on a section tab or move to this section area and right-click, and here is New Section Group. Now, I don't have a lot of sections here yet, but let's imagine that they are starting to be so busy I can't even view all of them. So I create one for New Website, and next, I'll drag the sections that I want for that one right on top of it. And here, navigate back. And once again. So now this helps me kind of drill down to more related section tabs by using that section group. And anytime I want to get back to that, I can simply navigate back to the parent level. Number 9, password protect a section. When you're working with a shared OneNote notebook, you might want to limit access to specific sections by adding a password. For example, in this shared notebook, I might not want everyone to view budget or financial information, so I'll apply a password. To set a password for a specific section in a notebook, simply right-click, choose Password Protect this section, and here is Set Password. Now, all the rules apply here. First of all, it is case sensitive, and you have to remember that your help desk or IT group will not be able to help you if you have applied a password that you don't remember. So you don't want to have something that's just specific to you. Maybe it's something that's just simply shared across your notebooks with a smaller work team. Go ahead and add your password. And OK. You may also be prompted about deleting backup copies of earlier backups for this section. Now, you might notice that the section still remains available for a while, even when you apply a password. However, you can lock all password protected sections at any time by either pressing the Lock All or using Control-Alt-L. And now you can see how this displays when it's password protected, and this is what you and other people will see. To modify the behavior of section passwords, you can go to File Options and Advanced and Passwords. And here you'll see the options for a password protected section and as to how quickly the section will be locked, and you can customize this to your preferences. To remove a password, I would move to this section, and I can either click or hit enter in the existing password, and here is the option to remove the password. Once again, I need to know what it is, and we're good to go. Number 10, Creating a link to a section. There can be multiple reasons why you might want to have a link to a section. It could be maybe to create an interactive table of contents, that is, to have a section where you have links to various sections within that notebook, especially if it's more complex. Or it could be a way to share access to that in other notebooks or even email. First, we start by right-clicking on the section you want to share, and here is Copy Link to Section. The link to the selected section and the title of this section are copied to the clipboard. So here in this email, I'll simply press Ctrl-V to paste, and now I'm sharing easy access to the meeting notes section. It's good to know that sharing a section link simply creates a more direct navigation. You are also sharing the entire notebook with this link. Which of these techniques will you use to manage your notebook sections in OneNote? For more tips on being productive with Microsoft OneNote or to sign up for my tips newsletter, visit thesoftwarepro.com/OneNote. If this training was helpful, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching.